Hi there, people. I made a new template today, the board number 2, and basically draws an image in JavaScript and a new one, and you can save them. And yeah, it should be deterministic as well for fxhash, so I can quickly throw in fxhash key to check it out. Oh, I put it local here. Hop. When I reload it now, it's always the same. I can change the key as well of the fxhash for testing. And it makes a snapshot as well, automatic. Console, use thumbnail. Oh, when it's ready drawing, prepares also the first thumbnail for fxhash. It's no libraries used. It's about 8,2 99 kilobytes with the fxhash together. It's about 8.2 kilobytes zipped, and it's really basically setting up an index.html, kicking off the JavaScript, doing the style sheets, so it's sort of proper sized, and I use now like image sizes of like create from clipboards. Boom. It's really like 2000 by 2000 now. And I'm using traditional old school. Where we go here? Old canvas drawing and lines and stuff like that. And yeah, you better kind of use SVG or other things, but you can play around with canvas drawing as well and style sheets, and people make like real sketches just using like CSS and style sheets, and you can do really like weird net art or stuff if you want as well, but it's the basic. So, and if I check now my new article here, the board, it's now on number 2, and yeah, basically this is all the code. Boom. It does all the tricks, and it looks really complicated for a newbie, but it's just, yeah, you need some technical stuff before it runs, and I try to explain different parts quickly now. Like yeah, the page always starts with HTML. It's an index.file, HTML file, and I use myself the free open source Notepad++ for mostly for my editing. And basically what HTML is like well, and I can delete this all. Hello world. Save. Online local version. And make a special to the directory so I don't mess it up. So yeah, hello world. I'm gonna quickly go and do save it again. Here we go. Well, first I start with the favicon. Favicon is like this little thing here in the next to the in the browser bar. If you don't have a favicon, mostly EPFS will throw an error, and it's nice to have a nice icon, you know, and you can make them themselves. And you can load them, but I always try to put it in the page themselves, you know, like love to have like one big index with everything in it, and the favicons, the style sheets, the JavaScript, and some say HTML stuff. So I got like this 16 by 16 favicon, and I can change colors or something, you know. I'm using the GIMP now. You green light. Okay, and I can save it. And I use a site called Base Away for the favicon creation. So I can go here. Click here. Was no porn sites. Lol. You. Yeah. As your code, select all, copy the clipboards. And this is my favicon data. And I put it all what I copied between those two things. Save it. And reload it now. It's more greenish, you know, compared to the cyan one. Yeah, you can make your favicons like that. That's the favicons thing. Next, the style sheets. Yeah, I need a style sheet for nice things to use the style sheet now for centering my canvas drawing. And it is about 2000 by 2000 now. Yeah, in the style sheets you can do all kind of text. I have also FPS counter, so I can show you for a second. Put my FPS counter on true. Up. I see my FPS, and in the style sheet you can change all kind of things, you know. Like this is my info block with the FPS thing. You can make like the font size 122, you know. So you can change things there, fix things, and next the fxhash snippets I need want to make it fxhash ready already. So this should be fxhash ready kind of thing. And I always want to make sort of the drawing. Well, I check the FPS as well. I don't want really an image that sort of freezes. The whole computer stops, my music stops playing. Yeah, it's horror for me, you know. It's sometimes really a reason not to collect works as well if they're really like freezing and stuttering, and the artist didn't care about the frames per second or the performance. So I think it's it's easy to make it really like nice and flexible and frames per second. That a lot of artists and coders, new coders, don't know how to do that stuff. Basically, you want to have an animation, and then every frame you draw like one block or something, you know? If I'm going to draw 10,000 blocks in a big screen, well, my computer will freeze for like 2 minutes. It's better build it up and then and have a flexible FPS, so your system is not freezing. You can run to the same time, you know. You want to have sort of cool, flexible, changing things, you know. So it runs really smoothly. Well, next I'm going to look further, include the fxhash, and I start here my JavaScript. And this JavaScript starts the animation and does the drawing and stuff like that. So I'm going to explain something. First, got here my image width and height. So I can make like 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah, you see frames per second goes down, and it's drawing now in the canvas of 4,000 by 4,000. And can S is the save button. Oops. Show. And you see it's already 4,000 compared to this one. So, but the frames per second go low. I put it down for the moment. This is my image width and height. And height. So, yeah, use some global variables like I use global is I declare them on the top, and they're getting used everywhere next, because sometimes you want sort of flexible of global variables like the image width and height, so it's you don't have to change it, only change it at one position here, and then and the same thing like window width and height to check the how big your screen is. Some testing stuff, and then some really dirty looking tech stuff. It's really scary for newbies, I guess. But don't worry, it's sort of, yeah, you have to set up the car, you have to set up the engine, you have to set up the windows, you have to set up the keyboard, you have to set up the mouse, you know. So that's some technical stuff, and mostly in you need to set it up as well. And explain a little bit. This little block sets a FPS counter. It runs it, it runs every second now. So it's sort of interrupt, like every second it will check this one, this function here, every second. And if I go there to my FPS counter here, it will check this one every second, like 1,000 milliseconds, or and yeah, it says if show FPS is true, it shows sets a message, it dumps like HTML in my div here. And yeah, it's really high HTML, you know, like I can make this like really like bold. This slash bold. Save. Make a follow mistake. No way. Let's see. Oh my god. It does something wrong, baby. Always nice if you make errors. Put here the developers tools on in case I see any error messages. Not really. Should be doing 1 second. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's strong. My info block is like here. And I changed, that's the ID. I changed the ID as well. So, ooh. You make errors like that. So I'm going here bold plus slash bold. It's HTML. Up. H1. You see, you can change. I can write in the div and also change all kind of HTML kind of stuff, you know. So you can do like dynamic buttons and check if you enter the text or things have changed. So you can really do dynamic HTML on the fly with JavaScript. You can make a whole website just with JavaScript and putting in the HTML on and off. So yeah. So, but I explain that more in the future, maybe when I do some menus or something. So next, I set the message text here, the HTML for my update, and yeah, I use now the new fxrand here, and I'm not using fxrand everywhere on my page because if something changes, I have to change it everywhere. And if fxhash makes a new command, like it was used to be fxrand, if it changes now, I have to change it everywhere. So I just use my own routine now, get rand, and it returns fxrand. Yeah. Well, animation parts, that's the last one. And I show more about the technical stuff here as well. This is real tech, I didn't invent it, but it's sort of legacy code, how you set up an animation frame at 60 frames per second. So it will request an animation frame when it kicks off at 60 frames per second now. And I need that, I put it somewhere when I start here I will start it, the request animation frame. It's sort of technical shit, but yeah, I need it for a smooth animation at 60 frames. So I do my globals, set the ask request animation frame. I add an event listener, and that is like an interrupt. Interrupt is like you do your drawing, but you want, besides the drawing, you want to check your keyboard, your mouse, that kind of stuff, or the mouse position. And I will here I put an event listener, and it says if is the page loaded. If the page is loaded, go to this one. So I can check in JavaScript already if the page is loaded, kick startup with this one. So it automatically starts running my animation, and it kicks off the JavaScript here. So, and in the init, I also add event listener window resizes. I'm not using it really right now, but yeah, you sometimes you need to check like if it's resized. I should position my thing, my animation different, or react to that. So I can say like alert, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, got a new keyboard, so it's so nothing happens if I resize. Yo, you know. So I go, and that is all this one. This event listener text stuff says on resize, go to this routine. And this gives me the window width and height of my HTML frame. I can check it as well. So I can say like see now it's my this is my window width and height of the screen. That's really nice for positioning and checking your mouse, or adjust to scaling, that kind of stuff. Um, next, I set the canvas size. It's very important because in the top I have my image width and height globals I use, and in the init I set the size here as well of the canvas. And so I got a nice bigger canvas here. If you don't do this, default CSS, and if you open a canvas, it will open only like a little canvas of like 300 by 150 default, and you can scale it, but yeah, your lines and things look like shit. So I really want to set here my canvas on a real big scale, you know. If I don't do that, mess it up. Well, here it says like if my FPS is false, don't show this block. You can put HTML blocks here. You can make it hidden or visible. So if I put it on, it checks here if my FPS is false. Push. It hides my FPS counter. That's those commands. You can turn on and off HTML divs and style sheets, and yeah, you can turn it on and off in JavaScript. Put a little keyboard event here for the saving, and I have also a global variable here, so I can check it here. Save image is false, and if you key up, if you release a key and it's the S key, then save image is true, and it does like this part. Takes the canvas, have a name of the image of my file here, the board. Sits also in the title, but I used also as a save name. And fxhash is the fxhash key. So if you save the image, it gives also this nice fxhash key, so you can sort of get this image back. If you have a real nice one, you can use the generated key. It's also new style fxhash, and it will save it to the hard disk. And here we go. Yeah, and like when the page is loaded, it will jump to this file, and on the bottom it kicks off animate. And animate starts the thing. It will request the animation frame for this one, and it will run at 60 frames per second. And yeah, for fun, I put also the frames per second counter in the menu bar. So I want to keep track of the counter now. Mostly I only do the counter when show FPS is true, but now I do it outside, so I can update this one as well. Menu. And it kicks off my animation. And finally, here we go again. My animation. And normally it does not, yeah, I do here several steps. I do here the drawing. So all the bottom here's where the playing starts, kind of thing. And this is more all tech that you need to get the machine running, kind of thing. And my animation is like where I do my sketching. And like here, for fun, I change the document title every fresh second, every 1 second. I change the document title so it updates the frames per second as well, just for fun, a little trick. And this is starts the animation. I can put this for a moment off, so you can see little parts. What it's doing. So this is the init. So I have my animation counter, I call it, that keeps track of the animation. And I get a random color on RGB and a sort of second color, a bit darker RGB. and this is sort of rounding. It's same like math floor. Well, because if I use the random, it gives a floating point number, you know, like between 0 and 1, and I can make it like real big, like 2, but I round it. Same like math floor, it converts to an int, so and when I do this floor, it gives a number between 0, or it gives 0 or 1. It will never touch 2 because it gets floored, so 1.999 or 999 gets 1. So this is a quick hack to round it to an int number, and I get here a random number between 0 and 255 RGB, red, green, and blue, and I can use it for the fade in the background. It's also a style sheet trick. Can change it also to right, you know. And yeah, you can do all kind of weird stuff with it. And normally, if you want to do it the normal way, it's like just with text, you know. So if I have like this one, and 1 second, close this one as well. So here's my fade for the style sheet. And this is kind of canvas CSS stuff. And what it does, it makes like a fade, and I can change the colors. See, but you can also make it dynamic. So I can also say here, I have to watch this thing, and instead of text, I can say here like R1. That's always different. Before it was like static, you know, but now I can have like dynamic numbers in it, just as long as I really add the little text. And you can also do all kind of weird stuff with it. You can also do like 2 RGBs here. Copy it a few times. And even more. You can do all kind of gradients, you know, because I can also make it like different. You can all kind of fun things with style sheets. But important is I set it here, and it's like normal text. My color is red. So you sort of add your variables to a text block. And hope okay. See, now it's always random kind of thing, and that's what I do here. I sort of have the static CSS commands, like, and then I juggle in these colors and make it more dynamic. So you can, I did it before on some sketches of mine. Like you can make nice animated backgrounds and stuff like that, you know, and fades. So with this style sheet you can also do nice background animations and fades. And yeah, I have to clear my canvas as well, what I'm drawing. So put it on for a wet bit. And now I have the image, and I don't fill it here. I just clear the canvas now at the start. Also when redraws, you see it clearing. But the canvas I use is like transparent, and the background layer is different. It's a different layer, and this is also a different layer. So when you save it, it only saves the canvas. And if I save it now and open it, you will notice the thing is transparent. It's nice if you want to have transparent saves, but yeah, it saves the canvas, but the canvas is transparent, and this is in the background, the fade. So I really have to clear the canvas as well. And this is like traditional old school drawing in canvas, but it's a bit outdated. You better can do SVG and stuff like that if you really want to get profi, but you can make some nice things with canvas as well. And the ctx canvas drawing, old school. So I clear my image, I fill my image, and then I go has done my init, clear the screen, set up the background, and I go to anim counter 1. And my animation runs at 60 frames per second. So the first frame it does this block, and the next time it goes to anim counter 1. And here I do the drawing. And what I hear in the animation part here, anim counter, select my canvas, begin a path, move my point to a random point on my image width and height with a certain range, and line to another new random position, and I pick a random gray color now, and I have my line width and draw a line. And like I do that 100 times now, so every frame it draws like one line. So my frames per second really doesn't I do it in little steps instead of doing it all at the same time. Especially if you really go like bigger images, you want to have like a nice FPS, like this higher resolution, and the FPS goes down. You see, so you always have to watch your FPS. That's sort of okay, flexible. It's not crashing or slowing down your computer too much. And in this animation loop, I can sort of, I can say also like only draw one line or draw 10 lines at a time or 100. And I do this loop like if I do like this little loop now 10 times, it only draws like 10 lines, you know. And I make it like yeah, 600, and it draws really a lot, you know, until it's finished. So you can sort of fine tune different layers until it looks kind of cool. Now it's kind of ready. And now I do another one. 20 is nice, maybe. And well, here I also do this like text plus code, so I can also say like for alpha. Um, I can make the alpha random, and it use between 0 and 1. So it gets a random number, and then I go like going to the alpha here. Use these two plus plus my alpha. See now the lines are random, transparent as well. Some are really like full, other are almost transparent, so you can really fine tune with all kind of nice transparent lines. Make the lines thicker or thinner. Let's see what the fuck. Yo, I can make this like also like random. And I round it a bit to an int. Oh wow, wow, yeah. And when it's run a couple of times, it goes to the next part. And if my counter is bigger than 120, if done 120 times, I put a reset the counter, and I go to the end, and the end of animation is here. I can also call it like 10 or something, you know, but yeah, maybe I want to make more layers of animation, like anime counter 2, 3, 4, 5, doing different animation and stuff. So I do the end mostly pretty far away. So I can always put here like new animation inside or something. 3. More animation, and I can do it in the next block. And I can say like, instead of going 200 to the end, I can go to 3, you know. So I can do here also a nice drawing or something else. So but it jumps now to number 100, and when it's ready, and here you have also a counter. Boom, 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 the animal counter. Wait, this is wrong. Oh shit. My counter. Made a little mistake here. Boom. My counter is 0. Yes. Counter plus plus. So if my counter is 50 in this loop, I do the fx preview. It says the fxhash preview is true. Then it gives this output. Put in the console, you know, like the thumbnail is done. I put the do fx preview to false, so it doesn't do this anymore. Only one time in the start. So if I start a new page, boom, it will do the thumbnail. If you want to use like fxhash preview thing for the thumbnail. Well, it goes further on the counter 500 times, it waits a bit. And I can also make it like little or small, then it really refreshes fast. Or make it real slow, you know, like, or just don't reset is also possible. I can just leave it like this, you know, and it always stays in this loop, and it just will show generate this image, but no new image is coming, and it is running really nice at 60 frames per second. I'm doing nothing really besides checking this counter, so it's stuck in a loop here, and but I can also say like, well, I can also reset it, withdraw after a while, it draws a new one, kind of thing. Well, this is the save image part. If you clicked, if you press the key, it will save the image. It makes it true, and then it finds here if save image is true, save my image, and I put save image false, so it doesn't save like hundreds of them. And also the real basic keys here. And this is also JavaScript. It's a bit different than FX processing one. And I can put this alert for the moment on to see, like if I press now the space bar, it gives a key 32. Like if I press up arrow, it gives me the key codes for certain keys I need, you know. So it's really easy to find. Yeah, you can also have different codes and more nicer, but it works like quick like this now. Yeah, that's basically it. And the last part is like different containers. I have my background block where I do the fading animation in the back, or the fading, and that's the CSS back, the style sheet for the thing. And I change dynamic the background color now. I can also make the position different. It's also, and this is for the info text, shows the frames per second. And the last one is my canvas. And the ID is really important, because with this ID I can say do it in this canvas, you know. You can have also more than one canvas. You can have like 10 different canvases layered on top of each other if you want. But I really need this ID so I can change it, you know. And it finds it, and I can change the position and stuff like that, you know. Because yeah, you can already do crazy stuff. Like if I have my canvas here. Sure, I did it somewhere here. Ah, well, never mind. Well, that's basically it. And yeah, little template to play with. And yeah, next I want to maybe do other more bitmaps and stuff like that, or maybe try SVG one day. But anyway, this was about it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Try to do my best. Wish you a nice day, people. Bye bye.